Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to get started with the program, and so we're going to get started. But I just want to thank you all for being here as FIT celebrates Black History Month. Before we get started, I would like to introduce, I should introduce myself. I'm Michelle Vanessa. I'm the Director of Student Life here at the Fashion Institute of Technology. Before we get started, I would like to introduce, thank you. I would like to introduce Donnell Parson, who's going to sing the Black National Anthem. So if I can everyone rise to their feet.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past had taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us, facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Let us march on till victory is won.
Thank you, Donnell. I have the distinct pleasure of introducing FIT's president, Dr. Joyce F. Brown.
Thank you very, very much. It is really my great pleasure to welcome everyone to our Black History Month celebration. So in a few moments, you're going to hear about a wide array of events that we are offering to help us mark and to celebrate the history and the achievements of African Americans in this country. You know, Black History Month really has its own very long history. It was established in 1926 by a Harvard-trained historian named Carter Woodson. Now, Carter Woodson was a man who was born of slaves, and he learned to read, and he saw that the books he studied either ignored or distorted the Black experience in the United States. So when he launched Black History Month, he didn't expect it to last. In fact, he didn't want it to last. He believed that soon enough, Black Americans and their history would enter the nation's mainstream so that a special day or a week or a month would be unnecessary. What we need, he said, is not a history of selected races or nations, but the history of the world void of national bias and race and hate and religious prejudice. But here we are today, 91 years later, still marking Black History Month, knowing that its full realization is still to come. So as former President Obama said not all that long ago, this dream of equality and fairness has never come easily, but it has always been sustained by the belief that in America, change is possible. Indeed, it has been a far longer journey than Carter Woodson envisioned all those years ago. But Black History Month still gives us occasion to reach for his goals as we reflect on our history and our achievements. Now, many of the events that we've planned this month at FIT address these concerns, and I hope that you're going to take advantage of all that we're offering. But for now, it gives me a great pleasure to turn the podium over to Dr. Ron Milon, who is co-chair of the college's Diversity Council. In fact, Ron Milon wears several hats here at FIT. I mean, all you have to do is put your hand up. We will fill it with something, believe me. But he is currently the Associate Vice President for Academic Affairs. But I also was privileged to appoint him to the newly created position of Chief Diversity Officer, which is a role that he will fill as soon as we are able to name a new Associate Vice President. And I really look forward to Ron's assuming his new role as soon as possible, because I know he's going to provide the vision and strong leadership that we need as we pursue the important goals of diversity and inclusion. So, Ron?
So bright. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so very much. To the members of the FIT Black History Committee, I thank you for allowing me this opportunity to be your keynote speaker. I hope I don't disappoint. Michelle, thank you for your help in dealing with my ongoing questions and follow-up. I do appreciate that very much. And I also would like to, again, thank Dr. Brown for her continued leadership at FIT, 19 years and counting. So let's give her a hand. And of course, personally, for selecting me as the Chief Diversity Officer of the college. Okay, I am very humble to be here today as we embarked on a new journey, a confusing journey, folks. In fact, I just learned that Frederick Douglass is back with us. But today what I want to do is to allow us this opportunity to learn about where we came from, where we are, and where we need to go. And that's in fact this year's Black History Month theme. It's a time to remember and to learn. As a trained historian and political scientist, I believe this is very important for us to do. By remembering the past, in the words of the late poet Maya Angelou, we bring our gifts of our ancestors that our ancestors gave, and we become the dream of the slave. Now, some people say Black History Month. I like African History Month, and I'll explain today a little later. But African History Month to me is not just memorizing dates, people, and places. That's easy, am I right? That's easy to do. It's about understanding, appreciating the accomplishments, and leading to where we are as African American, and more importantly, as a people. And this allows us to create a context for the knowledge of the past. And it's an opportunity, a chance have you, to celebrate the central role that African Americans have played in every aspect of American life. From marching for freedom and equality and jobs and justice, we have made a great, profound contribution to our culture and to our history. Dr. Brown's remarks helped us to establish a context for us to understand the role of African Americans in the past and in the present. Carter Woodson idea that we should emphasize not Negro history, but the Negro in history is important for us to understand even today. The history of African Americans in the United States, from the slave trade consisting of over 10.5 million slaves, to the Brown versus Board of Education case in 1954, to the untold story of Kathleen Johnson, Dorothy Vaughan, and Mary Jackson, whose brilliance put John Glenn in space, to the March on Washington, and to the Civil Rights Movement. The history, our history, is that of equality and inclusion. and being part of the American mosaic. Think about the contributions that African Americans have made in music, science, governance, and healthcare, etc. Guess what? We all benefit from these great achievements. Hey, we listen to and dance to Michael Jackson all the time. Those people who know me know I do that all the time. We love Prince. We love Marvin Gaye. Here's some Marvin Gaye in the background, back over there. And who is that singer that's having twins? What's her name? Okay? That's not black music, that's everyone's music. The struggle of equality and inclusion is a bigger dynamic in American culture and history. It's about the American promise, the American spirit, and the American hope. We have made great strides, and we are fortunate to have had our first African American president. For 8 years, President Obama stressed that change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other thing to come. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. I miss President Obama. Just had to say that. We empower ourselves as a race, as a people, and as a nation when we work together to seek change for the betterment of all. We are the American promise, the promise to achieve and be all that we can be, the promise that Dr. King and so many before and after dreamt about and died for. We are the spirit that keeps us to be positive and loving and human. We are the spirit and hope that our brothers and sisters prayed about while they were in chains. We are the hope, a hope built not on hate, my friends. We don't have time for that. A hope that creates bridges, not walls. You know what happens when you create walls, don't you? Okay, we have history of that. We must work to lead to empowerment based on mutual understanding, appreciation that our differences is our strength, not a weakness. When we talk about the United States, we must talk about a history of struggle, the fight for equality, and the fight for inclusion for all people. You see, my friends, diversity is not about how different we are. It's about embracing all of our differences and that understanding that we have more that we are alike than more that we are different. Recognizing our uniqueness and realizing our similarities builds our strength. Diversity is a celebration of the beauty of life. And that brings us back today to the theme of African American History Month in the context. It's important, as a historian, I always want to bring back to context because that's how people understand it. This brings us back to that we live in a nation of diverse backgrounds, of ethnicity, political differences, religious differences. We live in a nation where people are striving to be part of the American dream. However, right now, that seems to be threatened. We live in a society that's divided by hate. My friends, hate comes from misunderstanding and confusion. Hate comes from losing control, a control we never had to begin with. Our job is to educate and to protect, and to quote my friend Frederick Douglass, we have an obligation to agitate, agitate, and agitate. And you know, my friends, that's what we're doing when we're marching and we're keeping the pressure on. The theme of Black History Month is a time to remember and learn. It is not a time to breed hate. It is a time to have love and to build bridges. Now, I was recently appointed, thank you again, Dr. Brown, as a Chief Diversity Officer here at FIT, and some of you may be wondering, what does a Chief Diversity Officer do? Well, Chief Diversity Officer is much more than a numbers person, a compliance person, or someone who creates report. A diversity officer is someone who is a change agent and someone who cares about all people and want to bring all people into the learning community, who understands the differences and embrace them, not put them aside. What my job is to help bring people together and create a climate of inclusion and equity. Now that sounds much better than crunching numbers, I think, don't you think? Okay, I hope everyone's, okay, fine. Creating an environment that's inclusive and nurturing is what it's all about. This whole idea came out of the affirmative action of minority offices in the 1960s and 70s, and drawing on the inspiration of cultural affairs programmers in the 80s and the 90s. Today, the Chief Diversity Officer has the task of not just creating a learning environment that's inclusive, but also a community outside of the institution that make it as inclusive as well. We are given an opportunity right now to create a future that is brighter than the present that we are in. But it's up to each one of us to take our parts and really embrace everyone around you. We are the change. We are the positive force for change, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I speak to you now, not just as a CDO, as an African American, as a gay American, and as an educator, but I speak to you as a human being who is empowered by the past, who is energized by the present, and who is optimistic given recent events of the possibilities to come. So here's some advice. 1, learn from the past. Turn off that damn iPhone. Turn off the computer, read the paper, read a book, explore where you came from. I recently went on Ancestry.com, have you heard of that? And found out that I am 60% African from the Ivory Coast. That makes sense, right? That's where the slave trade, triangular trade came from, another history lesson. I'm also 40% British. Now, who would have thought that? Okay? Learn about where you came from. Volunteer, help someone. Take a moment to make a positive difference in someone else's life. Isn't that what it's all about? Life is too short. Sometimes we get too stingy. We need to share and help others. The next point, remember that civil rights are not just for blacks. They're for every single American. And when rights are taken from one group, it's taken from all of us. Make a pledge against hate and promote love. Now people may say, well, love, what is that? Love is the opposite of what we have in Washington right now. Remember the quote from the Beatles. And the young people might not know the Beatles, they should know the Beatles, but in the end, the love that you take is equal to the love that you make. That's one of my favorite quotes. It's so true. Speaking of the Beatles, listen to some old music. Think about the context that it was written in, because some of that old music, my favorite music, is the best music. I don't care, the young people might say otherwise. I don't know about the lemonade, but anyway. But remember, listen to some of the old music. We were doing it in the background. And like James Brown said, say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Okay? And you remember, music is what helped us communicate when we were trying to communicate from the masses and so on. We shall overcome. Do you know that? Okay. Remember, and I can't stress this enough, bridges allow for inclusion, they embrace. Bridges are wonderful. Walls suck, okay? There you go. That's all I need to say about that one. And finally, a society of inclusion starts with understanding. That understanding starts with all of us. Diversity and inclusion and equity is our strength. We have come a long way, but we have so much to do. We have to remember that we are enjoying our lives and our freedoms because of the struggles and sacrifice of so many African Americans. And there's so many to list, and I can't list them all, but I need to say a few. Dr. Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Harriet Tubman, my friend Frederick Douglass, Nina Simone, Byron Rustin, James Baldwin, Angela Davis, W.E.B. Du Bois, Booker T. Washington, Medgar Evers, Malcolm X, Julian Bond, John Lewis, David Dinkins, Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, Jesse Jackson, Haiti McDowell, Barack Obama, and one other person. You don't know this woman, but she was a part of my life, my grandmother. What's that? Catherine Dunham, there we go. And so many others that makes up this life force. Now, for those people who are in Star Wars, you know the force is very powerful, right? And that's what we have, a strong force of change, equity, and inclusion. I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Can we give it up again to Dr. Ron Milon? That was awesome. So I just wanted to ask the members, so this is not a one-man show. We've been having conversations about putting together something to celebrate the history of Black history here at FIT. So if members of the committee, if you're here in the audience, if you can stand and be acknowledged as well, please. Thank you so much. And so many of you may not know, we have about 60 clubs and organizations here on campus, and they do tremendous work here. So I would like to bring to the stage two of the clubs who are currently in the space to talk about what they're doing, and then we'll have a song selection after that. So if I can have Bragg come to the stage, please.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Falashade Porter, and I'm the Vice President of Bragg here at FIT. So Bragg National is diversity from a retail point of view, and their mission is to promote the inclusion of young professionals and students to retail, fashion, and relating industries. Their first college chapter was actually here in FIT, and following that, they have opened 7 more chapters in various colleges. Bragg National also sponsors scholarships and internships for qualifying students. If a student is able to gain that scholarship or internship, they're automatically invited to the Bragg Gala, where you're able to meet and greet with industry professionals such as the CEO of Macy's and people from Nordstrom. It's great. And you just hear their words of wisdom. So what do we do as a college chapter? We too stress the importance of diversity by visiting showrooms and corporate offices such as Under Armour in Baltimore, and we also participate in professional development services like resume writing. Last but not least, we fundraise, we do community service, and we also have guest speakers that come in to speak to us. So recently we had 2 entrepreneurs that came to speak to us, and they told us about their journey of how they started from a student to being a small yet successful business owner. So not only is it important to network with your peers, it's also a great opportunity to network with industry leaders so you can get your foot in the door. Thank you.
Thank you, Bragg. And next, we would like to introduce the gospel choir.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Shar Hardy. I am the current president of the FIT Gospel Choir. The FIT Gospel Choir was founded in 1997 by the Student Life Volunteer Coordinator, Mrs. Deborah Payton Jones. We, as a group, focus a lot on just spreading positivity, love, and just all-around good vibes through music. We're right now being directed by our current advisor, Mr. Donnell Parson. As a club, we travel. We like to collaborate with on-campus clubs such as the FIT Skyliners in concert. We also have traveled to Florida to collaborate with the Florida A&M University Gospel Choir, as well as we are looking forward to working with the Buff State Gospel Choir in this spring. And We meet every Thursday in A734. If you have any students who like to sing or are musically inclined, send them our way. And we have prepared a selection for you this evening just to promote positivity, to just assist in the message that is being brought forth today by the committee. And we thank Michelle and everyone for allowing us to be a part of this. And so our advisor, Mr. Donnell Parsons, is going to join me, and we're going to sing a quick song for you guys. I pray you'll be our guide and watch us where we go and help us to be wise in times when we don't know. Let this be our prayer. To a place, guide us with your grace, give us strength so we'll be saved.
I pray we'll find your love.
I pray we'll find your love.
Hold it in our heart.
And hold it in our heart.
When star clouds go out each night,
stars go out each night.
Remind us where you are.
Remind us where you are.
Let this be our prayer.
Let this be our prayer.
When shadows fill our day.
When shadows fill our day.
Oh, lead us to a place, oh my.
Guide us with your grace.
Guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be saved.
A world where pain and sorrow will be ended, and every heart that's broken will be mended, and we'll remember we are all God's children, reaching out to touch you, reaching to the sky.
We ask that life be
We ask that life be kind
and watch us from above.
and watch us from
We
above.
hope it so will find.
We hope it so will
Another
find
soul to love.
another soul to love. Let this be our prayer. Let this be our prayer.
Just like every child.
Just like every child needs to find a place. Guide us with your grace. Give us strength so we'll be saved. Need to find a place. Guide us with your grace. Give a place where we'll be saved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Give it up to the gospel choir one more time. Awesome. So there are other clubs, but like our students, they're super busy taking 21 credits, interning, commuting, and taking a full-time job. So with that said, I also just want to acknowledge the Black Student Union, Self Club, Students Excelling Life Fundamentals, and the African Student Association and WFIT for contributing to Black History Month. So at this time, I have the distinct pleasure of introducing Professor Dillard, who was responsible, along with the Diversity Council, of putting together the program, the Central Park 5, which will be taking place on Wednesday, February 15th. So if you all can put your hands together for Professor Dillard. I got it queued up. Yep. You just got to talk in the space bar.
Oh, thank you. Hello, everyone. I promise not to take that much time because I have a 2 o'clock class anyway. But I want to thank everybody for their participation in this particular initiative. It's really been doing really, really well. Good news, bad news / good news. Good news, bad news is, depending on what side of the field you're on, is that the event is sold out. Yeah. So I was saying good or bad depending on whether you registered or not. So it's in half theater, which seats about 700, and so we're there. And so I was thinking about the students last night, and how many students are here? Okay, good. Now, out of you all, how many have registered for the event? Good. So I was thinking about you yesterday. Oh, you have? And oh, now everybody want to be a student now, huh? No, I mean like duly registered student, all right? Because I was thinking about you, and as I saw the registration climbing to the max, I set aside 20 tickets just for the students. Okay, so I want you to take a look at this trailer for right now, and it's only 2 minutes, so this gives you a sense about what we're going to be experiencing in about 2 weeks.
I want us to remember what happened that day and be horrified by ourselves.
New York in the late 1980s was a completely schizophrenic, divided city.
New York's now the capital of racial violence.
If I had more bullets, I would have shot them all again and again.
Criminality, gang wars, drug wars. We were supposed to be afraid. It would have been irrational not to be afraid.
Off with the camera, man!
Last night, a woman jogger was found unconscious and partially clothed in Central Park. She was beaten and sexually assaulted.
A woman jogging in Central Park. Central Park was holy. It was the crime of the century.
5 youths were arrested at 96th Street, all between 14 and 15 years of age.
They got him!
You can only imagine the pressure to have this crime solved, and solved quickly.
First we was all together, then they started to put us in different rooms separately.
What did you do? Who were you with? Who did you come with?
The tone was very scary. I felt like they might take us to the back of the precinct and kill us.
You're not gonna go home until you give up a story.
I told my son, go to the park that night. I feel guilty.
I'm telling the guy, I don't know what you're talking about. They're getting a little angry.
And they're like, you did it, didn't you?
He had been interrogated for over 24 hours. That amounts to pressure.
These young men were guilty. It was almost unquestioned.
The police controlled the story. They created the story.
They seized on the fears of the people, wilding the bestial characterization of the black man.
There's no DNA match whatsoever to any of these boys.
I was going nuts. No blood on the kids. Nobody could identify them, but if they confessed, and that was that.
A lot of people didn't do their jobs. Reporters, police, prosecutors, defense lawyers. This was institutional protectionism.
We falsely convicted them, and we walked away from our crime.
This is the ultimate siren that says none of us is safe.
Hope your appetite is kind of wet for that. But we really are anticipating a really good turnout. And one thing that I really wanted to stress was whatever side you feel like, there's some people who still feel they're guilty, innocent. We're really not trying to get into the courtroom aspect of it. We're just really trying to expose students to the fact that this happened. This probably happened before a lot of you were even born. I was probably in high school, I think, when it happened. But just to start a conversation concerning this, we think is very, very, very important, at least for FIT. So I'm going to put up the website you're going to go to now, students, because I know you have your phones and your laptops, right? Again, this is only for students, please. The grown people, we've had opportunity to register for this, so we're out. I'm trying to find, oh, here we go. I'm going to put the URL here, and I'm going to release those 20 tickets, and you're going to be on your own to register. Let's see, I want to make this really big. Yeah, I'm just going to type it right here. I went to a shortened web, so it's goo.gs, one of these Google. Why? As much as I've been working on this, you think I memorized it. NFBH. Okay, so you're going to go there. The first G doesn't have to be capital. And go ahead to the website and pull it up. Oh, really? Come on, Bernard. Okay, there we go. There we go. So go to the website and you'll see, like, I guess when you click on it, you see where it says sold out. And I'm hoping there are at least 20 students. And then, the students have to sort of, I only have 20. So you guys ready? You see where it says sold out? Yeah, you have to click on the, normally it's like a green button or something, but I think it just says something like sold out. So once I release these, what you're going to do is refresh your screen, and then you'll see a green button, and then you'll be able to register from there. Now, you're also competing with people out in Facebook land, and so once it goes live, it's anybody. I just really want to give you guys one more opportunity to sort of get in the mix there. You guys ready? Okay, did you go to the right website? Are you putting this in? How many students are still trying to get there? Okay. I guess a laptop would probably be better, so it works kind of quickly. All right, so feels like on a track here on your mark. So I'm going to press save here, and it's going to release those last 20. So, you have to sort of be quick at that. As long as you're in there, so ready, set, and I guess get ready to go. Okay, it should be there now. They should be available. If you refresh your screen, so press the green button, and then once you're in, it's yours. Who needs help? I thought you were glad. Who needs help? Who needs help? As long as you get that green button and you see the 5-minute countdown, you're in there. So we've got 5 minutes to hit. Well, anyway, I just wanted to let you know I was thinking about you. And as I saw people registering, I said, I can't forget about my FIT folk. The email from Dean McGillicuddy went out yesterday to all students, so I guess technically you really should have registered already, but I just wanted to make sure you had another opportunity. Okay, thank you. See you guys around.
So this concludes the kickoff event for Black History Month. I welcome you to join us for the variety of events. There'll be a study abroad session, studying abroad while Black, a financial literacy session. For those who are meditators in the audience, there'll be a meditation session every Tuesday at 1 o'clock or 1:30. We have flyers at the top. Again, thank you for being present. Please enjoy the rest of the refreshments, and best of luck for the rest of the semester.